Good morning, everybody. This is your mayor. Well, I'm not necessarily your mayor.
You're supposed to say America's mayor now that Giuliani's now in the hospital. Is he alive?
Who?
Still?
Giuliani?
Rudy?
He relinquished his title as America's mayor.
Yeah, gave it to you.
But this is
I can't.
America's mayor. Welcome to Left of Center, the #1 podcast in Belgium. We have a special guest appearance today. Lindsey could not make it.
Where's Lindsey?
Lindsey is she's in finals right now. She's in nursing school.
Yes, so, Lindsey. Good luck in finals.
Yeah. So we filled Lindsey's role with the great Vera Maluznik. Great to see you, Vera.
Thank you. Big shoes to fill, but I'll do my best.
Yeah.
You're doing great. So better late than never. I was worried about you. It was like 7:31, 7:32, 7:30. I was like, Vera?
I was told 7:30 to be here. I didn't. So I
mean, so you got here at 7:30 exactly.
Well, I mean, I had a far way to come, so
I mean, you literally. I think you actually got here. The song was playing when you walked in.
True. No, it was.
True. Pretty presumptuous for your first.
Well, I think she's just like dramatic. It's a dramatic entrance.
It was dramatic.
Yes. Well, I've had a lot of experience racing in out of the parking lot and onto the air before. So
you're good at it.
Great.
Yeah.
By the way,
I can't hear anything.
I can't hear a damn thing, John. What the hell?
You guys knew this.
No, I can't hear.
I warned you of this
Kevin.
last night.
I can't hear Vera. I can't hear Kevin.
I'm just taking them off.
Take them off until Mayor Joe calls.
Why? What's the deal, Joe? What's the deal, John?
So for this stream, our biggest stream ever to date, 35th stream, we'll be able to hear 35th. Mayor Joe through our headphones. We just can't hear each other through our headphones.
Will he be able to hear us?
Yes, I think.
Dude, this is a cracked tech team we have working on LoC Pod. So, I mean, basically, Mayor Joe's getting in a jalopy with us today.
You're earning that salary, John.
So you're damn right. So here's what we have. We've got Vera showing up late.
Yeah, that's right.
We can't hear each other in the headphones.
Right.
What else is going? Oh, people saw us adjusting the lighting during the intro song,
and they commented on it.
This is the best show yet.
Why is people? I don't even understand why people watch this show.
Wait a minute, but this sounds like real life.
It is.
Yeah, well, good.
So it's not. This certainly was not rehearsed.
Yeah, we didn't show prep
at
all.
Vera. Happy Hanukkah to all our friends out there.
Happy Hanukkah.
Anyone want to spell that for me?
No, but like Happy Hanukkah to our friends.
C or an H or a silent J.
Yeah. By the way, Bez was super grumpy this morning.
Well, he's laughing now.
Yeah, I got a lot of sleep last night.
I walked in. Yeah, we took Vez to pre-show last night, which is unusual.
My favorite part of that was, the server comes around and like, hey, what would you like to drink? Tom's like, hey, I've got drinks tonight, guys. Enjoy yourself, whatever. Have a couple drinks while we're doing pre-show. And John's like, how about Kettle One? Nope. How about, what was it?
Tito's.
Nope. John was like, thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah.
You got my third.
Well,
your third favorite vodka.
If I'm going to invite him out, he's not getting the top of the line stuff. That's for damn sure. I said keep him on the bottom.
The well.
Right.
Tom's like, get this swill that I got, Grey Goose. What the hell is Grey Goose? Who drinks that?
Grey Goose is outstanding. That's the premium vodka.
On my top.
French.
It's a French vodka.
Prefer American made.
Is it French?
That's my go-to. It is French. What throws you off is that French flag on the front.
Maybe.
The red, white, and
blue. Bottle.
Maybe they just like French flags. I mean, you ever think of it?
Maybe we can get a Belgium vodka sponsor.
Yeah. By the way, it only took John. This was his second invite in 34 shows.
So what's 2/35? What is that?
Yeah. So basically,
I think it's like 1/17 and a half.
So we're not gonna have to see his ass for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got
6
17
weeks?
more shows.
It's a good idea though. We got to keep him motivated by inviting him out every once in a while.
It's nice instead of getting him just behind the scenes, like behind the producer's seat where we can't see him. It's good to get him out in public.
Get him out, buy him a couple shitty drinks.
Yeah,
send him home and tell him to get.
See you after the holidays, Vesmar. All right, you know what I'm saying? That was just consider it like your Christmas present for me.
We've got a huge show. We got a big show today. Mayor Joe Hogsett's coming soon.
I think that's pretty huge.
I think it's pretty exciting.
Steve Sursick is a Smirnoff man, apparently. That's what he just...
Wow.
I never...
Isn't that like a college vodka?
Yeah.
I know.
Smirnoff
is lower on the food chain than Grey Goose.
For sure.
Right.
Isn't there like Dark Eyes? Isn't that's a real bad one?
Who is your partner in law?
Who's in the plastic bottle? What's that?
I like lawyers.
Skull. Yes.
Skull vodka is good.
Skull?
Yeah.
Skull?
Skull. The one that's in a skull.
It's a plastic jug.
It's not a plastic jug. It's a
SKOL.
glass jug. Thank you. It's glass. And it's great.
Why are you
Halloween.
defending Skull vodka?
Because every Halloween we have a party at my house that you guys are never going to be invited to now, and we get like 4 of those.
But wait, those are and
we drink them.
It's
Halloween. So you're like,
wait, you're saying SKULL?
I'm talking about the Skol vodka.
Yeah, we're
That's
talking about
SKOL.
SKOL in a plastic
Well, then you're
jug.
talking about the wrong thing.
No, you are. You're talking about something you get in a skull on Halloween. We're talking
Skol
about
vodka.
vodka.
The Skol that I drink out of
Yes.
is good vodka.
We're
Oh,
not
no, we're
passing
talking about the
judgment on
brand.
that.
You are
Skol.
Let's see if our listeners have the worst vodka possible that they've ever had. They can
People are
throw that
chiming
out
in
there.
on the vodka conversation for sure.
Thank you, Lindsey. I corrected your father. At least she's participating.
Oh, this is going to drive her insane then. Let's have Vera do Lindsay's opening part.
Oh, good.
boy.
Right. Let's go right
I
to
like
it.
it.
Vera.
No.
Hey, Vera, sort of
Yes.
consider this like a tryout. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Like, we're always evaluating talent. We want to make sure we have the best on LoC Pod.
Well,
Belgium expects no less. So,
I appreciate
Lindsay's
that.
like,
and
I'm gonna finally get some sleep on Tuesday and Friday.
and she's watching the show, which is
She
hilarious.
is. Thank you,
so,
Lindsay.
John, will you be able to get this on my reel?
Yeah, please, let's get
Yes.
it going.
Thank you.
I'll
Just
flex
not-
in
just
the
not on your
background while you're
headphones.
doing it. You want me to flex while you're doing it?
What's the over-under Mayor Joe's watching this going, I'm not calling you.
Yeah. You know what? Let him know my Skype's not working.
He's going to be like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Well, you're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, and all while trying to have way too much fun while doing it. And if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LoC Pod, LoC Pod. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from Apple Podcast app or Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 391 kilohertz per second. Just left of center and look for our red and blue logo. Also, make sure to subscribe and rate us. And if you have a business, are running for office, or just want to have us read off your name, contact Lindsay, and we'll get you or your business on the pod.
Wow. Lindsay's screwed, huh?
Lindsay, record that.
Yeah, Lindsay's at home crying right now because she knows Vera just killed it.
She kind of did, right?
I don't know.
No doubt.
Just
I mean,
kind of lots of years of experience.
it's like it's a nepotism thing. Let's just be honest, I mean, she's my daughter. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
That's been our criticism. All you have is friends and family.
That's it.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We welcome Lindsay back next week. But Vera, you're always welcome too.
Well, I appreciate that.
The thing is, honestly, the one thing we want to do is make sure that this show always happens, and we're not always going to be here. So when one of us takes off, we want to make sure the show still
when
marches
one of us
forward.
gets COVID.
We have backups for everybody except for the big
Yes.
man.
John's
Don't go down, John.
irreplaceable.
He's a control freak. That's why he doesn't want to let anybody have access to the keys.
Time for me to start learning the board.
Right?
No one's as brilliant as me.
Yeah, just look at our
Yeah.
headphones today.
I see. Yeah, right. We can't hear each other.
You're right, John.
And if Mayor Hogsett actually gets through via Skype, it's a goddamn miracle. Let's just be honest, right?
It really is.
I mean, by the way, this is the first time we've videoed in our guest, and we've
So be ready.
with the best guest we've ever had. We're gonna video him in, and
kinda-
I know Vesmar's gonna screw something up, man. I'm just waiting for it, right?
It reminds me of when we were out in front of City Hall at the tree lighting, and Mayor Tom was about to flip the switch. I was like, man, those guys at
get
City
your
Hall
fingers
better have a
crossed.
job tomorrow. These lights better go on.
But that
It worked.
switch, by the way, I flipped the switch.
That was hilarious.
Too early, before the countdown.
But this switch is bullshit. It
You
was
just
like
walked
paper
up there
mache.
and was like, oh, I guess it's time to light the trees. I'll
You
just
give
flip
me a
the
switch. I think a switch is actually going to turn shit on, right? So I flip it, and they're like, "Wait a second, we have
There's
to
your
call
first
everybody."
mistake.
Wait, did he walk in at the last minute?
Yes, he did
Okay,
walk
well,
in at the
see,
last
I mean,
minute.
there
It
must
I
be
was
Dramatic.
last minute, actually. Come to think of it,
What made you think a paper mache switch
gonna
was
turn on.
connected?
I didn't know it was paper mache.
Look at this big switch. It's got to work. I was an
Well, you see a
electrician on a
switch.
nuclear sub.
That's goddamn right. When I see a switch, I think it's actually going to activate something. So I flip it, and everybody looks at me like I'm an asshole. I'm like, "What? How come the lights didn't turn on?" They're like, "We have to call everybody and make sure everybody." It's like, what a bunch
They're
of
like,
crap.
start counting down from 30.
Yeah, right.
And then the switch will work.
By the way, you knew who was in charge of the technical on that?
John Vesmar?
Vesmar, of course.
No, it wasn't.
I think
was
City
not
Hall
the
City Hall
technical.
maintenance.
Every
Yeah.
time something goes wrong, I blame Vesmar.
I know.
But
That's
Who would
my
have
thing.
thought the 35th episode would be my last episode here on my podcast?
Okay, well, who's
it's
responsible
going to
for
end with a
getting
thump.
Getting Mayor Joe on Skype today?
Oh, John Vesmar.
Well, see,
John, why
Oh,
is the emoji of the
kudos.
day of the smiley face with hearts in their eyes? Is that
don't
your
know.
Because he
choice?
left it from Lindsay.
No, hers was a paperclip last time.
You changed it.
I did.
Yeah.
It was for Vera. We're so happy
Oh,
Vera.
That is what it
I'm
is.
feeling
Let's
loved.
be
Thank
honest.
you.
Let's do a couple. Let's get some business out of the way. We'll come back. We got some things to talk about before Mayor Joe gets on. So listen up.
I'll do the first one.
All right.
Tattoo
Have at it.
lady. Are you looking for a unique holiday gift? How about a tattoo? The Tattoo Lady is conveniently located on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. The Tattoo Lady is locally owned and operated business for over 23 years. Friendly, clean, amazing artists are waiting to bring your ideas to life. Whether you are a seasoned collector or looking to get your first piece, the Tattoo Lady is the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Give the Tattoo Lady a call at 219-844-9976 or send a message through Facebook.
Oh, boy. I'm still going with that.
Why not?
Midwest air duct cleaning. As Mayor Tom likes to say, do you really know what's in your air ducts?
I've never said that in my life.
Are your allergies going crazy this winter?
I don't know where this bullshit came from.
Is the heat at your house not as effective as it was last year? An air duct cleaning may be the answer to all of your problems. All of them.
Is your marriage
Is
on
your
the
life
rocks?
a disaster?
Yeah.
An air duct cleaning may be the answer.
Do you have
to all of your
financial problems? Well, then clean your air ducts. It's the answer to all your problems. By the way, Marinko Midwest Air Duct Cleaning coming to the McDermott household today.
Wow.
I'm getting my 10%
You know
discount, my LoC Pod discount. I'm getting a
Veteran discount?
friends and family discount, a first responder discount. I think Marinko's going to pay me $15.
Make
when
sure
this is all
you
said
say
and
your
done.
quote. Do I really know what's in my air ducts?
I'm
Marinko?
going to, as soon as he walks in.
Videotape that.
Do you really know what's in your air ducts?
Make sure to take a picture of you and Marinko with the air duct.
Do it.
So we can put it on the pod if we ever have another one.
For sure.
Unfortunately, I won't be there. I have a CLE this morning.
For quality and affordable air duct cleaning, call Marinko. 219-671-8868 or at MidwestAirDuctCleaning.com for an estimate. And as Mayor Tom just said, they have all kinds of discounts, including 10% for just mentioning LoC Pod.
I'm going to mention LoC Pod like 4 times and see if I get
See if
a
it
40%.
multiples.
It should be.
Multiplies.
I'm a veteran, and I'm going to say LoC Pod discount, LoC Pod discount, LoC Pod discount. If you do that,
He's just going to walk away.
It gets to a point where either he walks away or he just does it for free.
Or the wizard shows up.
Really? Yeah, you have to put your heels together. That's right. That's right. Good addition.
Click
Vera.
your heels.
Lindsey never adds like that to the show, you know.
Oh,
Okay,
man. I am not going there.
Yeah.
By the way,
I love our Lindsey.
Lindsey's getting married tomorrow.
Yay!
Whoa.
Hooray.
Whoa.
What exciting
And your
day.
role
And
is?
you, oh.
My role is to walk her down now. Be a good dad.
You'll be there.
sounds
You'll be
awesome.
ready.
Keep everything together, you know what I'm
So
saying?
wait, so let's think about
Because
this real
Marissa's
quick.
going to break down crying, right?
Well, I was going to ask you, so how about you? I mean, this is your first child getting married. How do you feel about it?
I'm happy. Brian's a great guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a great guy. They're a great couple. They've been together for
Are you like
3 or 4
having
years.
like dad sadness, like your daughter's getting married?
No,
and all,
I'll be
or-
honest with you. I mean, she's been with him. She's been living with Brian for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, I'm happy that they're getting married because they're a good couple. And eventually,
Great couple, yeah.
after being together for years, eventually you got to pull the trigger, or
That's it.
right, you know.
So this is the good way to pull the trigger.
No, I mean it is, and you know, like we said last show, a lot of people thought because it is a rust wedding, why not get married? Like you can't have a big wedding with all your friends and family there right now,
Right.
So why not get married now? And then
Do the planning for later.
obviously as a father, I'm happy that Lindsay's gonna be, she's on Obamacare right now, which is great. But like I would rather see her, Brian's got a good job with benefits and all that. That's a nice thing about her getting married. And obviously we're gonna have a big public celebration when this is all done. But for right now, I think this is about as good as it gets.
That's great. Very
You definitely
exciting.
don't want to die or get married during the pandemic. That's one thing I learned. So I'm gonna try to stay alive. And
not
hopefully-
get married.
I'm not going to get married during the pandemic.
Good idea.
I'm going to stay married, as hard as that is for Marissa. I'm going to keep on fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Poor Marissa.
Yeah, poor
All
Marissa.
right, one more, Mayor.
Oh, my bad.
Is your chin touching the mic, Mayor?
Yeah. Why?
Don't do that.
How do we?
Why? I like to do it just
Don't
to
let
keep it close.
It'll pop. It might pop.
How do we know
Really?
that? Can you hear
Rub.
it?
I can't hear crap because you know why, John? Because we can't hear in our headphones.
I'm
I didn't know. Did you get that memo that the headphones don't work? Our crack studio.
Heavy sigh.
Vez was grumpy last night.
He's better now, though.
And then Kevin, so like last night we're at the pre-show, and like Kevin's all like convinced like we're gonna have a shitty show. Vez is grumpy.
I
Vera's
said
sitting there like
I was going to have a shitty show.
wondering what she's gonna. And there I am, the locomotive, keeping our crap together. Like, okay, guys, god dang it, pull it together. We're gonna
then
have
look
a good
what
show.
happened.
This is one
Here we
of
are.
our biggest guests ever.
The wheels are falling off. By
The
the way,
wheels last night were falling off, but I think we're ready to go.
I'm excited to have Mayor Joe on.
I am too.
Can I go back to something you said a few minutes ago? I was wondering, you said that Lindsay and Brian were together for 3 years, so it was about time to pull the trigger. Is that what kind of a calendar
that
do
the
you work
over-under?
with? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why 3 years. You think?
Well, in my world,
Yes.
when you move in with somebody, the clock starts ticking 3
Quickly.
years
It
down.
starts
Right.
ticking. Okay.
By the time it gets to 000, you got to pull the trigger and move forward
I
smartly.
didn't know if that was something you learned down in the submarine or
Yeah, it was
you
a
know,
submarine thing.
it's-
Like when I was in relationships on the submarine.
Right, that's
we
what I
would
was trying to figure
we
out.
would have.
It
It would be more condensed.
Like
though.
your bunkmate.
Yeah,
your
like if you were going to
bunkmate,
start a
okay.
relationship with one of your fellow submariners, that we had a 6-week countdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Did you get to choose your bunkmates?
No. Interesting.
Oh,
So
that
it was like
sucks.
everybody was
You
like
could
a
have-
pool. Everybody kind of.
Wait, so would you guys move like not share beds, but like shift on, shift off?
Yeah.
So that
Hot
it wasn't.
rack.
That's what it's called, hot rack.
Hot rack. Yeah,
Hot
it means
rack.
we
Sounds
had to share.
exciting.
It'd be
Hot
like
rack.
if the three of us were on the submarine together. Between the three of us, they would give two of us. They would only have 2 racks between the three of us, and we'd have to share the space in that. The three of us, right? So, like the theory is, I'd be on shift 1, you'd be on shift 2, you'd be on shift 3. Somebody's always working. There's only 3 shifts on a sub, so one of us is always awake working, and while that person's working, the other 2 could go to sleep.
But then you're always like hopping in a bed that somebody was just sleeping in for 8
which
hours.
is why they call it hot racking. You literally
Whoa.
get in a bed, and I always got.
What if you get a guy with like night sweats?
Yeah,
And
we're on
you
a
hop in
submarine. Like you'd have a job where like I would get really dirty. In my job, I was an electrician, so I'd get carbon on me a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then like some people had to work in the engine room around oil and stuff, and they'd get all greasy and oily, and like not everybody's as clean as.
So who's responsible
this
for
guy.
cleaning the sheets?
You just sort of ignore that aspect and move forward.
understand.
We're soldiers,
Here's the
Kevin.
thing,
Some Army people have to sleep in like outside,
Dirt.
and sleep in the dirt, and they have to dig foxholes.
Good
I had
point.
to share. I had to
Good
share a
point.
rack with people.
You did it.
Yeah.
Serving our country.
And
That's
you
right.
you re-enlisted?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
No, I was counting the days
6
down.
years was enough. But I mean, enlisting for 6 years
That's a
isn't normal,
long
is
time.
it?
That's
I
what
had
I thought.
to 6 years. I had to do it to be part of the program I was in. I was
Nuclear.
in. I went to school for the first 2 years I was in. I went to school with college kids and learned how to be a nuclear electrician.
Well, of
so
course, once again, thank you for your service.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Speaking of electricity, the plot is thickening in our chat about the switch from the the tree lighting. Doty says the switch actually did work. but
I
was not
beg to
plugged
differ,
in.
Doty.
Conspiracy theory.
No, she said it. They donated the switch and
Really?
said it was not plugged in.
No, I think if the switch was hooked up properly, the switch would work. So it was
So wait,
not
she's saying the
paper
paper mache switch actually functioned?
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, by the way, she said it was made of wood, not.
paper mache is not a very good conductor. So. Ron Prestemer Insurance Agency has been serving your insurance needs for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including business insurance, property insurance, and much more. The Prestemer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all around Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron at 219-844-0103 for a free quote and to discuss how to protect you and your business. Bam! That was the perfect commercial.
Very good. We should just tape it.
Ron, you should get charged double. That was so good.
Yes.
Like, just clip it. Ron, just like, that's like your permanent commercial, in my opinion. I mean,
Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to Ron Prestemer, and thank you to the mayor for reading a perfect commercial.
dude, I'm getting really good at this podcast stuff.
I saw something hilarious that you posted yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I-
I thought it was
'cause-
hilarious. Nobody else did,
So,
except for you and me.
I,
Kevin and have
I
similar-
was cracking up. I mean, and this goes.
We got
and
like 4 shares.
we a couple weeks ago we talked about algorithms, so it was fun.
That's a sexual
That,
position.
On.
yes.
Mayor Joe's calling in.
Mayor Joe's calling in.
Awesome. Let's bring him on.
Well, we're going to talk about algorithms later.
We'll talk about algorithms later.
I can put on my headphones,
Yes,
John?
please put your headphones
Whoa.
on, guys. Hi, Mayor Joe. Let me patch you in here real quick.
We're ready for Mayor Joe.
Mayor Hogsett,
1 second.
I can't see you, but I can hear you. But that does not surprise me because I know my tech staff. So, how you doing, Mayor?
Good. Hi, Mayor. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Vera. Hi, John. Glad to be on LoC Pod.
You're the
Oh,
best.
we are
man.
happy to have you.
We're
He is
very
fine.
honored to have you, Mayor Joe.
I haven't been on more than a few seconds, and I already know more about hot racking, night sweats, and having bunk mates than I really wanted to know.
Yeah. You know, submariners. We like to share space with each other. It's but how you doing, Mayor Joe? I appreciate. By the way, like, super honored that you're a fan of the show. Super honored that you're our first Skype guest on the show, and I mean, it's just a real honor to host you on LoC Pod, Mayor Joe. I'm a fan. I've been a friend of yours for a long, long time, and it's just really nice, and I appreciate you being on the show with us.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Happy Hanukkah to everyone, and certainly I want to add first and foremost my best wishes for a happy wedding to Lindsey and to Brian.
Thank you very much.
Tomorrow. That's a big deal. That is a big deal.
I'm happy too. And, Lindsey wanted to be here for you, but I knew that you and Vera knew each other because Vera's been part of the Indiana Democratic Party for a long time. And if we were going to fill Lindsey's role, I figured Vera would be a perfect host. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mayor Joe, it's Kevin here. Thanks for coming on. I just wanted to ask you real quick because we can see you now. Let us know where you're at. Where are you located and what's going on?
Well, I'm in an isolated room at the Marion County Democratic Party, just broadcasting from downtown Indianapolis. So I'm just glad to be with you.
Mayor, yesterday you made some news. I saw that you had a news conference, and you kind of called out Congress about failing to act and failing to get this bill passed. Why don't you if you could go into that a little bit and tell us what your concerns are from a big city perspective down in Indianapolis.
Well, Kevin, I mean, the truth is we've waited too long. The CARES Act was passed back in March. The city of Indianapolis was extraordinarily well served by that. We received $168 million in direct appropriation for the CARES Act. And we have used it, I think, in many, many important ways to alleviate the effects of COVID-19 on the residents of the city of Indianapolis. But the truth is also, it's the end of the year. And if you haven't spent all of your CARES Act dollars, pursuant to the regulations issued by the Department of the Treasury, you got to send the money back to Washington.
That's crazy.
Well, we weren't going to do that. So the City County Council here in Indianapolis, Marion County appropriated all $168 million in PPE, in small grants and loans to small businesses. We have one of the most aggressive rental assistance programs, mortgage assistance. I mean, the whole gambit. And the time has come for Republicans and Democrats in Washington to understand that, yeah, it was irritating and frustrating to begin with. But my point yesterday was now we've reached the point where it's deadly if local units of government and state governments are not given greater assistance to fight the pandemic. Because the truth is, we're all glad that a vaccine is apparently on the way. But the truth is also that it's going to be a while. We're going to be dealing with this pandemic, this coronavirus, for a while before enough vaccine is distributed to put us back into a period of safety and normalcy. So I simply said to everyone in the press here in Indianapolis and hopefully throughout central Indiana that, yeah, keep social distancing, keep wearing the masks when you're with other people, keep hygiene and washing your hands. But you can do one additional thing. Call your congressional representatives. Tell them to pass greater CARES Act 2 funding for local and state governments today. Nothing could be more important than more support as we go into 2021.
That to underscore what the mayor's talking about, Marissa and I were talking about this just last night, is big article in yesterday's local newspaper was Indiana to get 55,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine in December. And her and I are like, okay, 55,000 doses. Let's just say that's the two-step process that you need to get. We have 6 million people that live in Indiana, and we're getting 55,000 doses in December. That just underscores what Mayor Hogsett's talking about is even though the vaccine is available and it's getting dispersed, we're gonna be in masks and social distancing through the spring at least, right, Mayor?
That's absolutely right, Mayor. And I know you hear it. I certainly hear it. They may be well-meaning and well-intentioned, but too many local officials and, frankly, residents throughout central Indiana, are essentially ignoring the public the public safety recommendations because they think, okay, the vaccine's here. I'm going to be safe or will be safe very shortly. So I don't need to mask up anymore. I don't need to social distance. We can go back to life as normal. And frankly, that's dangerous because it's going to be a while before that vaccine is equally distributed throughout the state.
Mayor Joe, I had a question for you. I saw something that said that, obviously there's an economic impact on small businesses and the things that make our cities great. Those businesses, of course, are locally owned and we care about them a lot. One of the things I saw was your administration did a lot to try to keep and help restaurants and their workers open. I saw the Restaurant Association gave you a big thumbs up for about $11 million of help you gave them. What's the situation? And I also saw that we can expect 1 in 5 restaurants in Indiana to close because of the pandemic, and maybe I've heard even up to 1 in 3. And Indianapolis has so many great restaurants and so many locally owned restaurants that we enjoy when we go down there. What do you say to those restaurants right now and those small businesses, and what is Indianapolis doing to try to help them stay open?
That's a good question, Kevin. We've been working very closely with the Restaurant and Lodging Association because hospitality is so much a part of our economy in downtown Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
We're a convention destination point, and it's those restaurants, it's those amenities, it's the hotels that make the experience of coming to Indianapolis, whether it's for the Super Bowl, whether it's for an NCAA Final Four, whether it's for the Indianapolis 500 for that matter, that we're dependent. So in answer to your question, Kevin, directly, we have provided $5 million in loans, grants for businesses and not-for-profits affected by the pandemic. We've allocated $3 million for private and nonprofit restart grants to allow the purchase of PPE and other mitigation supplies. We've provided $4.5 million for rapid response loans, allowing businesses to keep current with their bills. We've also provided $3.2 million in paycheck protection payments. And then finally, and most recently, we instituted a program that we're calling our help grants, $8.5 million in hospitality industry specific grants targeted at keeping our hospitality industry solvent as long as we can during the health crisis. Now, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's a lot of money that we have used to try to help our businesses and to try to help the people. But that money has now been used.
That's right.
So we need Congress, both Senate, both House. We need Republicans. We need Democrats to step up and do the right thing and provide cities like Hammond and cities like Indianapolis and, frankly, the state of Indiana with greater support as we try to continue to negotiate and navigate through the pandemic crisis that will go well into 2021. There's no question. The reason why Fauci is talking about December and January and February being dark winter, it's because he understands that relief is not right around the corner. Relief is coming, and we're all happy about that, but it's going to take some time to truly get here in a meaningful way.
Mayor Joe, you mentioned one of the great things about Indy, the restaurant scene, the availability as a hotel downtown. I've been to the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. I've been to concerts in Indianapolis. I've been to I've been to NBA playoff games, NCAA, recently the Big Ten championship. The NCAA, of course, Colt games. The NCAA recently announced that it was looking at the city of Indianapolis as a possible bubble during the NCAA tournament, where they would not just host the Final Four, they would host the entire tournament in the city of Indianapolis and the surrounding area, which I thought was absolutely amazing when I read it. And I was thinking about how great that was for the state of Indiana, obviously for your city. Is there anything to add to that? Is that still moving forward at all? And I realize you're probably limited in what you could say, but that's just such an exciting proposal for everybody, every Hoosier.
No, Mayor Tom, you're spot on. I mean, we're still continuing to talk with the NCAA, but I mean, what you've just identified is an exciting opportunity for not just Indianapolis, but for all of Indiana, and that is if the NCAA agrees, and certainly Indianapolis is doing everything it can to encourage it, that the entire March Madness Division I men's basketball tournament will be played entirely in Indianapolis. So what that means is 68 teams coming to Indianapolis. All 67 games will be played in and around Indianapolis and central Indiana. Now, this tournament isn't until March, so it's premature right now to speculate as to, whether fans will be permitted and if they're going to be permitted to attend the games at all. How many fans, what the level of participation will be. But to host the entire March Madness Division I men's NCAA basketball tournament is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And frankly, if in fact it happens, it goes a long way towards sending the message that even in spite of the challenges of the pandemic, Indianapolis is back.
Yeah.
And Indianapolis is on the move again. So we're very excited about it.
Mayor Joe, the Super Bowl that I attended, was it the Giants? No, it was I forgot who. Was it the Giants against, I forgot.
Patriots?
Patriots and Giants. There you go. But the Super Bowl was amazing. I mean, the whole thing, Indianapolis did such a great job. And people learned at that time that this is a city that could host huge events, like even the Super Bowls. And I imagine that's got to be in the cards for Indianapolis down the road as well, hosting another Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, we'd love to host another Super Bowl. I think that the one that, I'm not the most objective observer, but I think the Indianapolis Super Bowl is probably the best Super Bowl they've ever had. So we would be very hopeful that the NFL would come back to Indianapolis. But, I mean, what you mentioned, Mayor Tom, is we routinely host NCAA, both men and women, Final Fours. We're always a place that we're going to be hosting the national championship football game in a year here in the city of Indianapolis.
Wow.
And that's not to even mention that Indianapolis hosts the single largest single-day sporting event in the world every single year in the Indianapolis 500, where 275,000 to 300,000 fans gather at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, the Indianapolis 500 was run last year without fans, which I think was the safe thing to do. But we're hoping that as soon as possible, and to have Roger Penske now owning the Speedway.
Yeah.
The Holman George family was such an iconic, citizen family of our city. But for them to now sell the Speedway to Roger Penske and all of the innovation that Roger Penske is bringing to IMS, we're hoping the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400 get back on track very, very soon.
Well, I think we all, Mayor Joe, we all want to get things back on track. Just talking about the Super Bowl is getting me excited because, as we know, and right now we're dealing with the Oak and Bucket got canceled. The Ohio State-Michigan game got canceled. So you've got these things right now we wish were happening that aren't happening. I can't wait to go to another concert. John was just talking about let's go on. I can't wait to go on vacation. So we're in this time right now where we're hoping these things are going to happen. We can't wait for them to happen again. Like you just said, you're hosting things next year. I can't wait for those things to be going where we can go to those things again. Yet I think places like Indianapolis are doing things to do what they can, like having Colts games still, right? So you still have it happening. We just can't go right now like we'd like to.
Right, and that's not to forget that even though the Indianapolis's hosting of the 2021 NBA All-Star Game has been postponed, I'm proud to tell your listeners and your viewers that the NBA has agreed to give Indianapolis the host bid for 2024.
Great.
How about that?
Congratulations.
Which Mayor Tom, it is a great thing. But my first reaction was when I talked to Herb Simon about the NBA awarding Indianapolis with the 2024 NBA All-Star game, I said to Herb, well, there's one downside to that, Herb. And he goes, what possible downside? I said, I guess I'm going to have to run again free to be able to be the host mayor for the 2024 All-Star game.
You got to, Mayor.
Well, Mayor Tom will take, I don't know, maybe 8th or 10th row. He'll be okay there.
As long as it's 50-yard line. We talked about that. No, we're not talking football, my man.
Hey,
Center court.
I do want to mention in the last podcast.
I was hoping you weren't listening to that.
Mayor Tom, you said, Mayor Dave brought a gift, and a lot of your guests bring gifts. And you wanted a box seat at the, maybe at a
Colts
playoff game.
Yeah, that'd be great.
NFL. Well, I want to be clear. I am getting LoC Pod a gift. Okay,
that's awesome.
I love it. Thank you so much,
as
Mayor.
As the mayor of Indianapolis, I am using every ounce of authority and diplomacy that I have at my disposal to secure none other than the Prime Minister of Belgium.
Oh my gosh. We are the #1 show in his country, so I appreciate it.
We know you're
so
a
much.
listener now, Mayor Joe.
Oh, Mayor Joe. It's a great honor. I appreciate it. Hey, by the way, how about them Colts? They're looking good this year, right, Mayor?
Yeah, they're having a pretty good year. They dodged a bullet last Sunday, and it all worked out well. But look, the Colts are going to be a competitive team. I really think that Frank Reich is an outstanding coach. They've put together both a good defense and a competitive offense, and they are playing very, very well right now. But the NFL, it's week to week, it's grinding it out day after Sunday, and we'll just see how it goes. But we're optimistic about the Colts' chances this year.
Wouldn't it be crazy if next year, when you're hosting the national championship, that you had an Indiana team in the national championship? I mean, your Hoosiers and our Hoosiers are playing very well, and who knows, by next year they could be in the mix of things. And then obviously Notre Dame's playing very well. I mean, you could be hopefully hosting a Hoosier team, in the college football finals next year. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Well, and Mayor, I know, and I know you appreciate that we host the Big Ten football championship every year at the Lucas Oil Stadium. And I know you are a passionate domer.
I am.
And I respect that.
Thank
you. I'm a Hoosier fan.
Yes, sir.
But for once, I think we can agree on something. I believe Indiana University football team belongs in the Big Ten championship.
You got screwed.
Not Ohio State. But
Agreed.
Again, I'm not objective when it comes to that.
No, you're right, though, Mayor. And I mean, rules are rules going in. Ohio State knew that they had to get a certain number of games. And I think Ohio State is good, but the Hoosiers, man, I tell you what. And losing their quarterback and still winning last week.
That was against Wisconsin, and the defense shut them out.
The Hoosiers are good.
At the second half.
What is Penix? Their quarterback, he's a young guy, right?
Penix is a what? I don't know, Mayor.
Sophomore?
A junior, maybe?
He's I think he's a redshirt sophomore this year.
Okay.
So he's got 2 more years of eligibility left.
I have a feeling the Hoosiers are going to be in the mix next year, and you might be hosting a big game.
I'll tell you, that coach is loved by his players. You could tell he's a good recruiter, and that's only going to help IU.
Right.
Hey, Mayor Joe, I wanted to switch over to politics a little bit.
Sure.
Since you're sitting over there in the Marion County Democratic headquarters, let's with a picture of FDR behind you.
All right.
You served as our Secretary of State back, I think, in the late '80s and early '90s.
Right.
When Evan Bayh was governor, and we had a Democratic Secretary of State. And as the chief election official, I know you'd know a lot about elections. What's your take on kind of where we are nationally with this election, and the fact that you've got attorney generals from several states trying to overturn it?
Well, the truth is that over the last years, we have seen an unprecedented effort made throughout the country at all levels to suppress voter participation. And I think that's tragic. I mean, we went since really the passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965, obviously we're celebrating the 100th year of women's suffrage this year. After 65, we went I was never good at arithmetic, but I mean, we went about a 30 to 35 year period where truly the people of our country had reasonably unfettered access to the ballot box. And yet, because of Supreme Court decisions and changes in the law, we have seen an unprecedented assault on people's right to access the ballot box. And I think that is dangerous for our democracy. I think that we as a country have always represented what is best about participation and allowing everyone the right to cast a ballot on election day and have that ballot counted. So, when I served as Secretary of State for 6 years, I remember I became Secretary of State because Evan Bayh was elected
That's right.
governor, and I got the one vote that I needed, his. So I served for 2 years to finish out his original 4-year term. And then just coincidentally, given where I sit today in the office that I currently hold, in 1990, and you all are probably too young, Vera may remember that in 1990, I ran for Secretary of State statewide and was fortunate enough to defeat the 4-term mayor of the city of Indianapolis, Bill Hudson.
That's right.
Who at the time was one of the most popular, most charismatic, most powerful Republican political figures in the state. So, yeah, those 6 years were very important, Kevin. And I think we made a lot of progress in terms of enfranchising as many voters as we could, emphasizing voter registration and voter participation. And I'm just sad to see, the country as a whole kind of moving in the wrong direction. It's frightening for our democracy.
Mayor, to talk to a Democrat to win the statewide office, I mean, in 1990, that was common. Not common, but it happened. It happened with the governor, happened with the senator, happened with yourself. Nowadays, when our Democratic friends run for statewide office, they don't get quite the reception that you did in 1990. What's changed? I mean, because Indiana used to vote Democrat and Republican. It seems like something's changed recently. What, in your opinion, what is that?
Well, Mayor, think about this for just a moment. I mean, and it shows you how the landscape of our state has changed politically. In the early 90s, when I served as Secretary of State, there were 8 statewide elected officials. There are now only 6 because the clerk of the Supreme and appellate courts is no longer on the ballot, and now the state superintendent of public instruction is no longer on the ballot. Yep. But back in those days, we elected 4 statewide officials. And for about 4 years, 6 years, maybe, I can't recall specifically, but 5 out of those 8 statewide elected officials were Democrats. Now, consider this. Of those 5 elected officials who were statewide and who happened to be Democrats, 4 of those 5 were YDs.
Mm-hmm.
Young Democrats.
Right.
That's right.
4 of those 5 were under the age of 35.
Wow.
Evan Bayh,
Wow.
Pamela Fanning Carter, the Attorney General, Dwayne Brown, the Clerk of Supreme and Appellate Courts. And then when you add me, we were all under the age of 35. Now, look at what we have. We've got every statewide elected official who happens to be a Republican. Both of our United States senators are Republicans. And even though I have a very, very good working relationship with Governor Eric Holcomb, and I really do think the world of him as a leader.
He's a nice person for sure.
He happens to be the 5th consecutive Republican administration elected over the last 5 elections. So it's almost as if we've come full circle. When I first moved to Indianapolis after law school and started my practice, every elected official in the state was a Republican. Both senators were Republican. Even though the Republicans didn't enjoy the supermajority that they do in the House, I can remember, I think the House majority was 61-39 Republican. So it's almost as if at the beginning of my adult life, everything seemed to be, dominated by Republican politics. And then, Kevin, as you pointed out, there was about a 15 to 20 year period
That's right.
where we not only had Speaker of the House, we had 4 consecutive governors elected, 2 by-terms, 2 O'Bannon terms. We elected Jeff Modisett, Attorney General, and Pam Carter, Attorney. I mean, we had a period of unprecedented success. And then, here in the 21st century, we've just had a series of bad elections. So I really think that with leaders like Mayor Tom and everyone at the table today, we need to be thinking about what is the message in Indiana for tomorrow.
That's exactly
and
right.
how do we come back as a party? We do well in Lake County as Democrats.
Yeah.
We always have. We do well now in Marion County. When I first moved to Marion County, we would routinely lose Marion County by 50 to 60,000 vote pluralities. Now, it's not unusual in presidential years for statewide candidates to be given 100,000 vote pluralities as Democrats in Marion County. So we're doing well in the urban areas. I think we're improving our position in suburban Indiana. But it's the rural parts of our state where we need to really double down and do a better job of communicating our message. And it's, we had our fair share of successes in this past election. Andre Carson was reelected congressman here in Indianapolis.
Great guy.
I know Frank Mervan Jr. was elected to the Congress in the first congressional district.
I read about that.
Yeah. You know something about that?
I read an article about that. Yeah.
Well, and so we had our fair share of successes. We actually added 2 state legislative candidates, one in the state Senate, one in the state House from here in Marion County, adding to our total. But in so many different areas of the state, we were pretty much shut out. And I think it has to do with messaging. It has to do with recruiting great candidates, and it has to do with raising the kind of money that you need to communicate effectively your message. So we need to put our heads together and do a better job as we prepare for the off-year elections in 2022.
Yeah, when you look at a guy like Mayor Pete Buttigieg, a friend to both of ours, a guy obviously that had a lot of ambition as sitting in the mayor's seat, and it was so bleak for him, the environment in Indiana, that he skipped that whole thing and ran for U.S. president, thinking he had a better chance to become U.S. president than he did. I'm sure Mayor Pete, if he thought it was an open shot at him, he would have probably run for governor. And instead, he ran for U.S. president, and obviously he's doing very well. I mean, they're talking about making him the ambassador to China, which would be an amazing accomplishment for such a young man. But, that is, it speaks volumes, I think, the fact that he ran for president as opposed to running for governor. I think that speaks clearly.
Well, I think that's a good observation, Mayor. I mean, look, it's time to be honest with ourselves. Nationally, we achieved the ultimate objective, right? At least I think Joe Biden is the president-elect, even though there are others who still contend that he's not. So we achieved our objective nationally, and that's critically important. But let's be real. We were soundly defeated in many areas of the state of Indiana, and there are greater numbers in both the Indiana House and the Indiana Senate. They actually increased their supermajorities. And this isn't about particular people. It's not really about particular campaigns. We have to do some overarching thinking and soul searching at the state level. And I happen to believe that our future success is dependent on many things, but one thing above all else, and that is we got to find a way to bridge the historic tension that has always existed between rural and urban communities.
That's right.
In Indiana. And I've lived that my whole life. You all probably remember, I was born and raised in rural Indiana, Rush County.
Wow.
Where corn and hogs are very important. And yet I've lived most of my adult life in urban Indianapolis.
Did that help you when you
So-
ran statewide, Mayor? I mean, the fact that you came from a rural area, being a Democrat, I think that's real important to be able to have something in
Especially
common
today.
with people that live in remote counties. Do you think that really helped
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I do think that that certainly was an asset when I ran against Mayor Hudnut in 1990. But look, my point is this, and I really didn't mean to come on the show and sermonize about the future of our party.
I'm glad you are.
We like it.
Well, to the extent that there ever was a time, and there certainly was a time, an era, where certain parts of the state benefited by advocating over and against other parts of the state, well, that time is over now. And if we really, truly all want to succeed, we now live in an era where for the first time, we need to come together. Interestingly enough, the population of the suburban contiguous counties around Indianapolis now outnumber the population of the city of Indianapolis.
Wow.
How about that?
We have nearly 1 million residents, but in the bigger metropolitan Indianapolis area, including the contiguous counties, we now have 2.1 million residents, and so our local economies are profoundly dependent on each other. We no longer are afforded the luxury of Indianapolis looking at what Hamilton County is doing and say, oh, Fishers and Carmel won and we lost. No, when Fishers and Carmel win, Indianapolis wins, and vice versa. And I know you all have been doing that in Northwest Indiana for so long. Sure, you have your disputes. You've always historically looked out for one another ultimately and looked out for the region as a whole.
We do.
And it's that type of cooperation. It's the kind of leadership you've been bringing the city of Hammond since 2003, Tom.
Thank you.
It's that type of leadership that, frankly, in a cooperative way, I think as a party, we can become more competitive in all areas of the state.
Thanks, Mayor.
You know, Mayor Joe, I really appreciate hearing your viewpoints, especially on messaging, because I think that's where the focus should be. That's where we as Democrats are missing out. But I do also want to touch on COVID and the vaccine that's coming. I know there are a lot of people that are very eager to see vaccines come into their areas. I believe our hospital here, Community Hospital, is one of the first hospitals that's going to receive vaccines. My question for you is Indianapolis getting vaccines, and will you be one of the first people in line?
Well, I certainly welcome the opportunity to benefit from the vaccine personally. But in answer to your question, Vera, yeah, we're going to be getting at least a first tranche within I'm told by the State Board of Health, within the next couple of weeks. But of course, as I know you all appreciate, there is going to be a fairly well thought out distribution plan, and the recipients of the vaccine early on are going to be those who are most vulnerable, right? Our first responders, our healthcare workers, our long-term care workers, and then frankly the elderly. So I'm hopeful that the distribution can begin exponentially, focusing on those who are most vulnerable, and then when the time comes to allow people like all of us to be vaccinated. I look forward to that day. I know Kevin just went through the process, and and frankly, my wife and I just went through a 14-day quarantine. Now the good news, Kevin, is we ultimately did not have any symptoms.
That is good news there.
We ultimately avoided any kind of positive diagnosis, but I had been exposed to somebody who was coronavirus positive, and so we immediately, according to CDC protocol, went into the 14-day quarantine. And believe me, there's only so much Netflix you can watch.
That's probably when you became addicted to LoC Pod.
Mayor Joe,
No, I've loved LoC Pod from the very, very beginning.
We appreciate that. A long hauler.
I get it on the Apple app.
Thank you.
And it generally comes to me either later in the afternoon or the next day.
Well, whenever John gets around to it.
Yeah, he's a slacker. He's a Trump supporter, so you never know when that thing's going to pop up, Mayor.
Nobody turns around a podcast quicker than me.
John, you do a great job, and I got to tell all of you, and I know I'm probably going over my time here, but you should have seen my staff when I told them that I was going on a podcast that had a curse counter.
Expletive, yeah. It's an expletive-filled podcast.
We got a couple calls.
And Kevin, I got to tell you, I'm not really altogether sure what the reason is, but and maybe it's showing my age, but my staff was extraordinarily excited when they found out that I was going on a podcast with Silent Bob. And I have no idea what they're talking about.
Silent Bob? Is that our producer?
Nobody does.
Yes, I'm told Silent Bob is named Kevin Smith.
Oh, really? I like it.
I appreciate that, Mayor, and your staff, of course. We made sure we put him at ease and let him know we'll take care of you when you're up here, and we just appreciate you coming on. And, by the way, just pumping us up a little bit and being a subscriber. That means a lot to us.
Can I ask one last question, Mr. Mayor? One of the interesting things about your career that a lot of people don't know, I know the people in Indy do, is you took a detour from politics for about a 4-year period, if I remember, and you became U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana. Did you really enjoy that job a lot? And was it hard for you, coming from being an elected official to working with the FBI and working with law enforcement to try to put bad guys in jail? Was that did you enjoy that detour? And do you think it was helpful to your career?
Well, Mayor Tom, it was deeply satisfying. When you're helping communities clean up areas of their city that are all too often subject to crime, it can't do anything but give you a sense of satisfaction. And of course, you point out one important aspect of the job, which I think over the last 4 years, maybe the Department of Justice has kind of lost sight of it. But I can remember when I was nominated by President Obama and I worked for Attorney General Eric Holder, they were absolutely explicit that even though you became the United States Attorney through a political process, right? You're nominated by the president, you're confirmed by the United States Senate. They made it clear to all of us that once you become the United States Attorney, the politics are checked at the door.
That's the way
they
it's
don't ever come in the door. We had an outstanding group of U.S. attorneys under President Obama, and I think that they did an excellent job of uplifting the reputation of the Department of Justice. I can't necessarily say, from my observation, that has been the case over the last 4 years, but maybe with a change in administration, we'll see the Department of Justice recapture its efficacy and its neutrality, because justice ultimately is blind, and that's an important concept.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mayor Joe, I just want to thank you. I know, Mayor, why don't you go ahead and wrap it up before we
No, Mayor Hogsett, this is hopefully the first of many appearances on our show, and we're all fans here, and I'm telling you from my seat, I look across the state of Indiana and I try to figure out who's the leader of our party, because we always had a governor, or we always had a senator, or somebody leading our party, and we don't really have that right now. And I look to you as the leader of our party, an executive of a city of 1 million people, and with the experience that you have. And I really look to people like you to help lead us out of the abyss and to back into relevance. And I really appreciate you a lot as a fellow Democrat. By the way, I know who the chairman of the Indiana Democratic Party was when I became a Democrat, and it was you, and it was Dan Parker that helped me a lot, helped me win my first election, and I'm a very loyal person, and I'll never forget that meeting I had with you and Dan Parker in your office when, you guys made a sizable investment into my campaign, and I hope it did great for the Democratic Party. I just want to personally thank you, though, Joe. You're a great guy. You're a great mayor. You're a great elected official, and you have a great friend up in Hammond, Indiana, and that's me. So I really appreciate you coming on Left to Center.
I tell you what, as a final matter, Mayor Tom, I remember 2003 quite well. And speaking of regaining our competitiveness statewide. If you'll remember in that election, the two biggest wins that we enjoyed was Jonathan Weinzapple
That's
being
right.
elected mayor of Evansville and Tom McDermott Jr. being elected the mayor of Hammond. But what people may not remember is in 2003, we elected more than 70 Democrats to mayor's offices all through the state.
I remember that.
Over and against maybe 50 Republicans. Now, over time, those numbers have reversed themselves. And we now have about 70 plus Republican mayors in Indiana and maybe just right around 50 Democratic mayors. So the 2003 elections, when you came to office, really were kind of the apex and the zenith of our success at the local level. And we can recapture it. We just got to put our mind to it.
That's great. I appreciate it. It's a great way to wrap up. Thank you so much, Mayor Joe Hogsett, for being on Left of Center. We really appreciate it. I know Vera appreciates it, Kevin, John, and myself. So thank you very much, Mayor Joe.
And give my best to Lindsey.
I will, for sure. Thanks, Mayor. Take care, okay?
Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right.
Well, that was exciting, John. Good work.
It worked, John. You did it.
Can't believe it.
I can't believe it either, I'll be honest.
He said, "I'll be honest. I can't believe it
Yeah.
either."
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I can't believe it either.
Wow.
That's basically what he
damned.
said, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that was great. Mayor Joe's a great
Well,
guy.
exciting.
it mostly worked.
I think it worked. Yeah.
Right?
Once we're
Yeah.
gonna.
The only thing that was
Wow.
missing were the headphones.
Give
Other
me
than
my
that-
moment, Vera, please.
It mostly worked. I mean,
Full success.
Give
I mean-
John a week. He'll have the right adapter.
I mean, if we were
Yeah.
grading it, what would you grade him if you were a teacher? Like if you're a professor and, this was, I'd give him like a B.
I was gonna say B minus.
B
for
minus,
the headphones issue, but
headphones.
but on the
I would-
Skype issue, A plus.
It was perfect.
A
You
You
plus.
guys
on
are
the
a
Skype.
piece
It
of
was
work.
a-
You should have saw the video quality of that call. Let me tell you.
See, we need real tech nerds to know that John was an A plus.
I gave him a C plus actually. I'm lowering my grade.
You're a tough
Why'd you drop it?
professor.
It wasn't perfect. There's something
I
left
will
to be
shut
desired.
this
Why
thing.
can't
I
we
will
lift
shut
a
this
little?
train down right
Mayor
now.
Joe,
Watch
I give
what I
Mayor
can
Joe.
do.
Mayor Joe gets an A, but the service, it's basically we invited Mayor Joe into a jalopy. The way I look at it,
And
Hey.
it still was able to stay on the road somehow.
It was a jalopy.
Right.
We got him where he needed to be, but it could have been a smoother ride, in my opinion. Hey, whatever. What could you expect?
Well,
His
actually,
presence
really,
should
it's-
lift the grade a little.
that's right.
we only spent $10,000 on his studio. I mean,
Oh, we knew that was going to come in somewhere. Got to throw that in.
But seriously, this really opens up a whole new chapter for LoC Pod.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
the guests we
It
can
does.
get on now.
We've
Yeah.
gone up a level thanks to Mayor
By the
Joe.
way, how cool is it to hear him say, he listens
That he
to the
listens.
show.
That he's been
Yeah.
listening.
He's talking
Yeah.
about Belgium. He's talking about
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
It's
got
cool.
it.
It's like when you call Howard Stern, you say Baba Booey. He's like, I know this guy is one of my guys.
This is one of our guys.
Mayor Joe called up with stuff that we talked about in multiple episodes. That makes me feel good.
I like it.
Be like
Yeah.
Mayor Joe.
Be more like Mayor Joe.
like-
And by the way, having a like John said, having a guest like Mayor Joe on. No offense to our other guests, but it was just it felt good to make sure we had somebody from not around the region that was willing to come on and really
Yeah.
pump up
I mean,
the
think
show.
about it. We went from Mayor Uran to Mayor Joe. What a huge step.
Yeah,
that was.
wow, that's a monstrous step.
You know your aunt's
Uran
listening.
I know your aunt's like,
I mean,
that's it.
seriously, Uran to Hogsett, there's no comparison.
Gonna come get his bowling
only in
pin.
population.
There goes the bowling pin.
I love Mayor Uran. He's my guy, and I know he's laughing and
Of
sounding
course
plotting
he is.
to get back at
he's
me.
gonna I'm sure he's gonna give a great.
Hey, you want to
time.
knock out a couple commercials?
Yeah, we should.
Misprint
Absolutely.
printing.
I want to talk about that algorithm of yours, by the way. We got to throw that up. We have to
I
throw
agree.
that
We
up.
have to. That was Misprint Printing with both Munster and Hammond locations. Rick Baltensberger and his team are there for absolutely all of your printing needs, including calendars, magnets, and all types of great holiday gift ideas from your business to let clients remember all year long. He's responsive, he's fast, and he's good. Banners and signs of all sizes, from wrapping cards to business cards. No job is too big or too small. Call Rick or Teresa at 219-836-2517.
Latitude Commercial is a full-service commercial real estate brokerage and property management firm specializing in northern Indiana and the Chicago suburbs. Local tenants to national developers have benefited from Latitude's experience in the commercial real estate market. When you select Latitude Commercial, you get Chicagoland expertise with worldwide marketing and networking ability. Whether you are a developer looking to sell, a tenant looking to expand, an investor looking to purchase, or an owner in need of property management services, Latitude can help. Contact Latitude at 219-864-0200 or at latitudeco.com so they can get to work for you.
Oh, that was quite an ending, Vera. Thank you.
It was a happy ending.
John, can you throw up the mayor's post? We got to talk about this real quick.
Kevin
This
just
cracked
skipped
me
over
up.
my joke, John.
What? You talked over me.
I said something funny, and you just like moved
What was the
forward.
joke?
It's
He
the no
didn't-
headphones.
he
You
was-
can't hear you.
I can't hear
You
you.
said that was a great ending. You said that was a great ending, Vera. I said that was a happy ending.
Oh.
And then Kevin marched
You're on that
forward
side
like
of the
he did.
table. Actually, I was trying to protect you from Marissa from that comment, so I just wanted to keep
I said it
rolling
twice.
along.
I want to get busted
Listen,
so bad.
now that Mayor Joe's off the show, like we can say whatever we want to.
Yeah,
get,
dude.
Now it's going downhill.
Yeah.
All right, so Mayor put up. I was trying to do this before Mayor Joe came on, just because we had talked about algorithms a couple weeks ago, and Mayor Tom I thought put a
I love that word,
hilarious
algorithm.
post up
The
yesterday.
algorithmic method.
Algorithmic method.
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
Teenagers learn that in high school now.
But this is what he put up. It was just so funny, and I think I really truly believe it wasn't a coincidence. I think it was like a Facebook algorithm.
Here it is.
So this is
Oh, you're putting it up.
yeah,
Nice.
it's up.
Yeah.
So,
So
why don't you
notice,
explain it.
Notice. So I look at a Curtis Hill article about him suing to try to overturn the election results, and I'm flipping through Facebook, and the very next ad right after Curtis Hill appears is a coffee cup that says, "I just want to touch your butt."
All the time or something
That
like
can't
that.
be a coincidence.
I'm like-
it's got to be an algorithm. I'm
How
telling you.
weird.
I mean, it's a bizarre algorithm.
yeah.
How weird! Like right after, of course, for those of you that aren't aware, our former Attorney General
Current
was
Attorney General.
He's current, but he's on his way out. He's on his way out because he groped legislators in a drunken manner when he was
Well,
at
he's
a
on
bar.
his way out because he didn't get nominated by the Republican Party.
Because
But
he groped
I wonder why that-
legislators.
I wonder why that was.
He and for those of you that listen to our podcast, we had Matt Reardon and Mara Reardon both on here talking a little bit about this incident. But I find it funny that after Curtis Hill's newspaper article comes up, there's a coffee cup that says, "I just want to touch your butt." I just found that too
I thought it was a
coincidental.
funny post, by the way.
I
All right,
so, too.
so you're going after Curtis Hill again. You're not going to invite him down here, are you?
To LoC
I think
Pod?
he should be a
Challenge you,
guest.
yeah.
That'd be quite a guest.
He's the enemy of my former dog.
I was going to say, the
I
last time I
didn't
saw
know.
Mayor Tom and Curtis Hill go at it, it was very exciting.
It turned out badly for Curtis
It
Hill.
did.
And my dog became famous.
Teddy, rest his soul, Teddy.
I've never seen a
Yeah.
dog with a Twitter account.
Well, I wasn't.
He had a Twitter account with hundreds of followers, like within a.
All over
There you
CBD
go.
oil. I've never seen cameras turn so fast at a
That was crazy,
press
right?
conference. All of a sudden, like they're going at it about CBD oil, and all the cameras just flipped from towards the podium right around to Mayor Tom.
And I wasn't trying to. I was trying to be funny. I was just being a smartass.
I
Like,
don't think he
"Yeah."
knew you were the mayor.
He did not know I was a mayor because I was dressed in civilian clothes.
Yeah.
And then he is like, I'm gonna take on this punk lawyer. And it's like then he realized he's fighting with a mayor, and the press got interested. And then I leave Indianapolis after a 1-day trip, and my dog was on the front page of the Indy Star when I
And
left.
Teddy was famous.
And I
There
was
you go.
like, I did well. Hey, by the way, I got a good one to wrap it up on.
All right, let's do it.
You know, I find these little bits, and I think they're funny. So, like, this is a funny one. Did you?
Oh no.
The Chinese Civil Air Commission had some recommendations to help clean up the cabins and to help protect their stewards and stewardesses, their flight attendants.
attendants,
excuse me.
Tom.
Their
That's what
flight
we say
attendants, how
today.
to like make it more sanitary for them, so that they don't have to go into the dirtiest place on an airplane, which is the bathroom. Right?
it?
So let me read this on.
Sure.
As the coronavirus pandemic rages on, transportation officials around the world have been looking for ways to keep passengers and crews safe on board planes. On November 25th, the Civil Aviation Commission of China, CAC, releases new guidelines. CAC. They call it released new guidelines for the country's airline industry, which it oversees. The document, titled Technical Guidelines for Epidemic Prevention and Control, it's a very catchy, for airlines,
needs an
6th edition,
acronym.
by the way, contains advice about the best hygiene practices to carry out on aircraft and in airports. But one of those suggestions that personnel like flight attendants wear disposable diapers so they don't need to use the bathroom has raised some eyebrows. A section of PPE advises cabin and crew on flights to and from high-risk countries to wear medical masks, double-layered disposable medical gloves, goggles, disposable hats, disposable protective clothing, and diapers.
Sounds
Yummy.
like people are lining up for that job.
I know, right?
I can't wait to fly on CAC.
So, like, yeah.
Where our
like-
flight attendants
No, the China,
are well
that's their
secured.
FAA is CAC.
Oh, I
CAC is
got
their
it.
FAA.
All right, well, whatever airline that
Basically,
is.
if you're on a
South
Chinese air
China.
flight, your flight attendant may be wearing a diaper.
Can you
And
see their
How-
diapers through their clothes?
Only
Like
if you
that?
you
ask,
probably
John.
could, you pervert. You're probably checking that out.
Only with
I'm
your
saying-
nerd X-ray glasses that
John's
you can like
totally checking
somehow
out the
have for
diaper.
your.
I see your diaper line.
I'm saying, I think of diapers as like this big padded thing. Like, can you see it through their It's just
I mean,
weird.
can you tell they're wearing a diaper?
Yes,
through their flight
Not
attendant
can you
skirt.
see it,
Uniform.
but can you tell it's a diaper? Yeah.
Is it a disposable?
I would say yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Well, sort of like astronauts.
A little puffy
How
there.
different?
Yeah, they're like
Around here.
astronauts.
They're going up in the
I
air.
imagine like you're only going to go number one, right? I
Who
mean,
knows?
dude?
What if you had
I
a bad
don't-
meal?
I don't approve of number two in mid-flight in a diaper. I think I'd take my chances with coronavirus.
Well, the good thing is the FAA hasn't suggested this yet, but who knows?
it could be coming for your
Starts
flight
it all
attendants.
starts in China. Just
Vera,
like the
isn't your sister a
Kung
flight
Flu.
attendant?
She works for an airlines, unfortunately furloughed due to COVID, but yes. So
You might
she
want to
would
let
not-
Susie to start trying on diapers.
I don't think
I
that's
don't,
going. She's
well,
going
I
there.
don't think she'd be doing that.
Really?
Well, I don't know.
I think.
I don't know. I'd have to
From
ask
now
her.
on left to center, I'm going to wear a diaper just in case because I don't want to
Okay,
like.
you needed to share that. Why?
I just don't want to leave during the
John.
show, and I feel it's important for me not to expose myself to the coronavirus and Kevin's.
It's like
And
off a
Kevin's-
cliff. It's like
gonna start rolling
it's like
the
it's,
outro
you know what it
music.
reminds you of? Like when he realized he could swear on the air.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like, Mayor Joe's gone. I'm just gonna jump off this cliff and really take a straight.
We didn't want to do the diaper story before Mayor Joe got on here, but we feel safe doing it after. So
Well, imagine all the politicians nationwide. Like, I can't wait to listen to this podcast.
yeah,
Mayor Joe leaves, and then Tom's like, "All right, let's talk about this diaper story."
That's where we hope they turned it off. Oh, it's over. It must
Turned it
be
off.
over.
They're not staying on for us. Come on, let's
true.
be honest. They're here for Mayor Joe. They're
They're
not here
skipping
for
to
us.
30 minutes in. and
That's
then
right.
leaving
They're going to listen to
listening.
Joe. And they're going to turn us off. They have no idea we're talking about diapers and
If we only could have got in the diaper story with Mayor Joe, maybe they would have clipped it for the national news or something. We could have actually made LoC Pod national. See, we had to be more edgy.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
we should have busted it out.
Well, wrap it up.
All right, guys. Thanks, Vera, for filling in for
My
Lindsay. You did a
pleasure.
great
Yes,
job.
Vera.
Thanks to John Vesmar. You did a
Yes,
good job.
thank
you,
A solid
John.
C plus in university grading.
I'm in the B's.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone. This has been a really fun experience for me. These 35 episodes.
on your last show.
Good luck to everybody.
Yeah, next Tuesday we won't be able to turn it on. But
I move mountains in this room, and this is the thanks I get.
Thanks, John, for your solid C plus of work. Kevin Smith. You did a great job, Kevin. I'll give
Mayor.
you like B minus.
Oh,
solid.
that's a
And then of
plus.
course the A plus goes to me. You know, I mean the guy at the
I
locomotive
think
is pulling it all together.
everyone's starting to get a really good insight into Tom's personality disorder. You know, it's like-
Personality disorder. Thanks for watching Left to Center. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for being a fan. Like and review us. Don't forget algorithms and all that stuff.